Hi, my name is Thomas Gibbs with US Franchise Visa, and in this video, we will discuss the franchise opportunity Wow One Day Painting with Franchise Development Manager Adam Winnett. Adam has a background in sales and recruitment, born and raised in Vancouver, British Columbia. He enjoys hockey, football, live music, and time with his wife and dog. Adam, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me, and it was a good capture. That pretty much sums me up.
Nice. Well, tell us a little bit about how the brand got started, kind of the who, what, when, where of the opportunity.
Sure. Yeah, so WOW as a brand started in 2010, but we are a part of a bigger family of home service brands. There's an umbrella company we fall under called E-2 brands, or Ordinary to Exceptional brands. And the sister brand that most people, if they're familiar with us, maybe used the service, seen the service, would be 1-800-GOT-JUNK. And Brian Scudamore is the founder and CEO of 1-800-GOT-JUNK, and that's now turned into a monster of a machine. It's the biggest junk removal company in the world. Brian's won Entrepreneur of the Year awards. He just wrote a book this past year, WTF, and really has been the benchmark for us as a system over the last 30 years. And as Got Junk was reaching a point of really running out of territory, the system is growing year over year, but the territory was running out in terms of being able to launch new businesses. For Brian, that's a big passion, is helping people achieve that dream of business ownership. And he loves the home services space and sees just a massive opportunity with these very ordinary services and giving customers an exceptional experience, hence the name. And so very quickly, where WOW got started was actually Brian. So Brian was getting his own house painted, and like a lot of us out here, was frustrated with trying to find a painter. He couldn't find someone to show up to the estimate. He couldn't find someone who did show up that he said, like, I don't want this person inside my house. My wife will never say yes to this person. Just a lack of professionalism, lack of customer experience. And he was frustrated. And until there was a gentleman named Jim here in Vancouver who had a company at the time called One Day Painting, just a localized Vancouver business. And the experience for Brian was completely different. From the moment the estimator arrived, he was uniformed, it was professional, spent about an hour with Brian going through his home, talking about the different rooms and capturing notes, and then gave Brian not only a very detailed breakdown of what that estimate looked like, but gave him a firm price, which is not normal in painting, and a firm timeline, which was 1 day. And so Brian just kind of said, I didn't really believe it, but this guy was still so much better. I felt so much better about giving him my home. We said yes. And fast forward about a week, Jim and his crew was there waiting, and he had about 5 or 6 guys that morning. Brian gave him his keys, went off to work like he does every single day at our office. His wife went off to work, his kids went to school. And when he came back for dinner that night, house was completely put back together, furniture was back, house was transformed, and Jim was waiting to give him his keys back. And it was actually Brian who the first thing he said when he came through the door was, wow, I can't believe you did it. And it looks good and everything's clean. And it's almost like I didn't even know you were here. So Brian, being that serial entrepreneur, his brain starts going out of control, right? This is amazing. Everybody I know would use this. And how have you not franchised this? And Jim was like, listen, man, I have a small business. I don't know what you're talking about franchising, but we just want to make customers happy. And Brian's like, good, so do I. Let's talk. So you fast forward a bunch of months and conversations, and they went into business together, starting Wow One Day Painting with the goal of bringing that offering to customers across North America, giving them speed and quality. And that's the backstory of WOW.
That's a fantastic story about how it all came together. It's interesting how sometimes opportunities just basically happen.
Yeah.
For those of us that are overseas, maybe watching this video, maybe you're trying to make something happen, but hopefully that story resonates with you if you've ever had your home painted, interior especially.
Yes.
That is typically not anywhere near a 1 day process.
No.
Typically that is 3-5 days, sometimes 10, and there's delays in between. And so Yeah, that's a wonderful story,
Yeah,
especially to come to the home of a serial entrepreneur
not knowing.
that knows how to get it done
Yeah,
with O2E. So,
yeah.
so that kind of leads into then the mission and the vision. Um, Tell us a little bit about that. You know, the why of the brand. You know, why we're here and what we're trying
Sure.
to achieve.
Yeah, and as you said, I mean, I think the big piece with starting it, even with Brian, is he experienced the service as a customer, right? And so he got to see what that meant to him. It wasn't just an idea he pulled from the sky. He physically got to experience speed and quality together. And in painting, generally in our industry, you don't get to choose both. It can be challenging enough for a customer to find someone professional, someone they trust, with their home, someone reliable. That's a whole nother problem. But let's assume they even find someone they're willing to say yes and use as a painter or painting company. Then it's usually, well, if I want it done quickly, the quality is not going to be great. And if I want quality, as you said, it could be 5 days, 7 days, 2 weeks, or I have no idea. The person's just here. They're basically living in my home. And this is really annoying, right? It's really frustrating, but every day you get from work, your kids come back from school, and there's paint cans and ladders and stuff, and your house is a mess. It's an annoying process to get painting done. And so that's really for us, offering here is giving customers something totally different. The one-day piece is very unique. This is not happening in North America. We're doing it, and it's normal for us. We're doing it 70, 75% of the time, but it's not necessarily normal for customers until they experience it. And that's the wow factor. And we see it in our 5-star reviews. If you look at Google My Business, or you see customers commenting, either saying wow or it felt like magic. And it's that ability to give customers high quality, because really that's kind of the only benchmark right now. Is the paint job good? Not good. Kind of it when people look at reviews. So we're going to give people high quality, but we're also going to give them speed. We're going to give them their home back, give them their life back, and it's bringing this offering that we're doing. It's happening. You can go see on the reviews across North America, and it sort of reminds me a little bit of at one point when Amazon said, or even FedEx said, we're going to deliver packages in 24 hours. And everyone's like, oh, good for you. No, you won't. No one does that. And then they say, okay. And then they did that. And now it's kind of normal. Like if you can't deliver something in 24 hours, people will generally go somewhere else. And so for us, that's what gets us really excited, is giving customers something that is very unique, very different, but we want to almost make it normal. And in the markets where we're operating these businesses, now it's become normal. And so we're excited to find future business owners to get really excited about that customer experience, giving customers something that they didn't even think they could get, but then they love, and having something that's different and unique. Painting is not unique. We didn't make that up, and that's not going anywhere. Amazon's not going to technology us out of this business, but this offering is super unique and different. And what we keep seeing is customers loving this and just not knowing this was an option because they didn't have it as an option. And so that really is our mission, is to find more business owners that we can deliver this service to across North America so that it almost just becomes normal.
Yeah, you make a really good example with FedEx. I believe I've heard the story that Fred Smith, if I remember correctly, the founder, when he turned in the paper in college for the concept of FedEx, got like a C-.
Yeah.
Now you think of this company, it is a behemoth.
Yes.
And speaking of the reviews, I live in Arizona, and Scottsdale came up. Just 14 reviews, which is pretty good, frankly. And they're all 5-star, 5.0. So, this definitely is not just Adam tooting the horn. This is real stuff here. So, that's awesome. So if I'm looking for a franchise opportunity, and I don't have any painting experience, one, can I do this? And two, if I don't have that experience, am I going to be able to get trained and get support to deliver 5-star review quality?
Sure. Yeah. Probably one of the most common questions I get or concerns, however you want to phrase it. So the answer is don't need it, and I actually kind of prefer you don't have it. And then the second answer is yes, and I'll unpack that. But in our world, like a lot of things, someone coming to the table with a different set of skills, which I'm happy to speak about, but not painting experience, is very advantageous. It gives us almost a clean slate with someone to start with. And the great thing about painting, because it's not super sexy, it's not the first thing you think of when you think about the most exciting business out there. There's a lot of things it's exciting if you're interested in a business and how to build a business. And again, I'm happy to unpack that. But one of the nicest things is it's not rocket science. Painting may feel like magic when we do it, and may feel like magic for customers, but it's out of all the trades in that world, it's not the most complicated. And so for someone to learn the painting side, that's actually quite easy for us to teach you. What we're looking for is someone who is looking for something where they're customer focused. They have a really good slant on how do I deliver amazing customer experience? I get excited by seeing my customers excited. I've got leadership qualities. You're going to be leading and managing people. Those are things that are much harder for us to teach. We can't force someone to want to lead people, or want to create opportunities. That's in you or it's not. Bringing hard work, the focus, like these are all things that, we can help. We can't teach those. Those are in you or they're not. The painting side, we can teach that. And so to answer your second question, there's a very robust training program that a new franchise partner goes through. And that's involved with learning how to actually paint. Not that you're going to become a painter every day, but you need to know operationally, how does the business work? You're learning estimating, you're learning sales, and for all of these things around painting, we have step-by-step processes that you can follow. So really it's very high direction when you're starting. You have a startup team that all come from the painting industry. They've been doing this a long time that are teaching you. Then you have technology that helps you with those learnings themselves and your skill development, different online programs and an estimating app and different things that you're using. And if I looked across our system, maybe 2 or 3 people out of 53 and counting had some sort of painting experience lightly in college, maybe kinda. The odd person's painted their own home or tried to, but they don't come from that background. They come from the business world, the corporate world, ex-police, military, teachers, insurance, finance, like you name it, that's where they come from. They weren't painters. So that's honestly the least of my concern. It's just someone willing to say, I'll get in the business itself. I want to learn everything about it. So I'm willing to pick up a brush and learn, but we can absolutely teach you that. And that's not something that we're concerned about. The program is built to take people that have never painted before and help them get up to speed. And then like anything in life, the more you do it, the more you're around it, you just get better at it. And you hear our franchise partners who are, 3 or 4 years in now, they sound like they've been doing this for 20 years. But you live it every day and you just get better at it. And we've all had to do those things in our life, in our careers. So that part doesn't scare me.
Awesome. Okay. So I feel like we got a good idea for how everything got started, what we're trying to achieve, the training. Yeah. So how about like 2, 3, 4 years in, what does a day in the life look like for a franchisee, right? And how has that changed maybe from the time they did their first 10 jobs to the time now that they're doing their 100th, 300th?
Sure. So and I'll maybe go the other way around. I'll start with when they first start. What does that look like? When you launch a business with Wow One Day Painting, we would use the term owner-operator that's used in franchising. In our case, what that really means, though, is someone is full-time in their business, and they're essentially the general manager when they start. So you're doing a little bit of everything. The goal here, though, is you're not signing up to be a painter every day and you're just going to go paint, because then nothing's going to happen with your business. You're a painter. So you are involved with sales and estimating. And again, we teach you that, and you have processes for that. You're involved with growing the brand in your network. So getting out in your community, meeting other trade partners, real estate agents, interior designers, contractors, people that have very similar customers to you and would actually love to use your service to help themselves and help their customers. They just got to know you exist. You're recruiting people, interviewing, hiring, and then managing your teams. That labor management piece is big. You're getting to know your paint reps locally, and we facilitate those introductions and have contracts for you and that kind of thing. And then just the general management of the business. So those early days, I'd say even though those early years, you're kind of touching everything. And what you're doing is you're learning every element of the business, right? You're learning it operationally. How does it work? What are things that I can influence? And what are things maybe I can't influence? And really getting comfortable with all the elements of the business. And then as you fast forward to year 3, 4, it does depend a little bit on the franchise partner and what their vision is. There's not just one path, but commonly the franchise partner has gone from sort of being, in the business to elevating up to working more on the business. And the goal is that as you grow your business, you're going to grow through people. And launching a second crew and eventually a third crew and hiring salespeople, operations leaders. So your business will start like this, and then the people side will grow out. And you are now more focused on how am I leading and managing other leaders in my business? How am I mentoring them? Because you've been in it, you know how to do it. You know what it takes, and you know what good and not good looks like. So you've now empowered other people to drive your business forward, and you're probably starting to think more long-term, where am I going the next 5 years? What do I want this business to be? And those goals are different. And we work with our franchise owners to understand what their goals are, what their threshold is for growth, for change. And there's a wide range in our system of what people want to do in the first 5 years, the first 10 years. And our coaching team works with you to build your plans to hit those points. But rounding that out to your question, your role will likely change of being less so in the business, more on the business, but still very much involved with the growth of where you're going and the path and the strategy, just in a different way at that point. Does that help?
Absolutely. Yeah, it sounds like there's something that's not very common in franchising, that there's really a lot of continued vision building, business coaching for the franchisee. We've been fortunate enough to work with a lot of candidates across the world that have started in franchising, and their vision grows, and they look for a mentor maybe that has already achieved that benchmark. Right. And having that support is really helpful, because you might be thinking to yourself right now, well, I just want to get to America. I just want to give my children that opportunity to live in a country where there's opportunity. Yep. But I think you'll find that once you're here and you realize that this is the land of opportunity, that there really is a next step, and having that support from a business coaching perspective is really, really helpful.
Yeah. And I would say, we certainly have seen nowhere near a ceiling on these businesses in terms of what they can do. And there's just so much opportunity in the painting space in North America. Like, it's somewhere in the $40 to $45 billion range. Like, it's amazing. There's so much work. And so, to run a successful business, it's not like you need to take over your state. Even within just a city, you can have a portion of the city and be so busy you can't even think straight. So there's so much opportunity, which is good. And to your point, a franchise partner in our system, from day one, signing franchise agreements and, okay, I got to start doing this, has a business coach. That business coach process never goes away. So our franchises that are 7, 8 years in still have business coaches. Maybe different coaches. They definitely have different needs, and they have different coaching that's happening. But you have a coach in our system, or coaches, for eternity. As long as you're in our system, they're there to help you in different ways, that help you grow your business. And the other side, where we're very, very lucky, and I don't even know how to clarify it other than it's sort of a hidden blessing, is that our franchise partners themselves, the network of them, are extremely close. They mentor each other, and they help each other. They talk to each other. They give advice to each other. They share with each other. And I know that's also not common in a lot of franchise systems, or people have to be forced to do it. For us, it's happening outside of us. I mean, we facilitate and make those introductions, and we have events where those things happen, and we have learning sessions and all sorts of stuff, but it's happening on their own. And so, as you pointed out, franchise owners are helping other franchise owners build their business with the idea that the better that everyone does, the better the brand will do, and then in turn, the better they will do. So going back to a 1-800-GOT-JUNK story, similar mind that if the more every customer is like, I love 1-800-GOT-JUNK, this is the go-to, the more we can have that same feeling for Wow One Day Painting, all the owners in our system benefit. So it's pretty special that they take an active role in helping and mentoring, sharing, all those things with each other. And they have very real relationships helping each other grow their businesses.
Yeah, that's a really good point that I think a lot of us may overlook in franchising is how the reality is that 1 + 1 becomes more like 3.
Yeah.
And that brand recognition, the credibility, the referral, it all kind of compounds and frankly just makes the franchisee and the franchisor's job that much easier.
Yeah. And it helps your business. As you're building a business, you're building something with equity and with value. And the more the brand gains that recognition, that awareness, that value as a brand, of course, your business also gains that value. And so that's, it is a shared common purpose of these owners aren't, they're competing with each other in a friendly way, just like, athletes kind of, give each other a stick about who's got the most points or who's the best, this, that. But on the whole, they're teammates. These franchise owners are teammates and they want to help each other. And the better they all do, the better the team of Wow One Day Painting does. And it's a very real thing happening.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about the general requirements. Obviously, there's going to be some kind of investment. There's going to be some kind of time commitment. There's going to be, training. But the customer service part, obviously, I feel like that's going to be a pretty big part. And I'm sure you'll elaborate on it. But, as much as you can maybe, tell us about the requirements from capital to training to mindset.
Sure. Yeah. And I could probably go on and on, so I won't, I'll try to keep it concise, but, and this is something I can unpack with anybody in the future, obviously in more detail, but, from a capital perspective, you're right. Starting a business costs money. So the investment range we typically see for candidates starting a Wow One Day Painting business, depending on, how much territory and their budget, would be anywhere in the $75,000 up to 120, 130, somewhere in that range, which I know is big. And as I said, I can unpack that more, but that's really getting the essential things you need as a new business owner to launch and start building your business and having marketing capital and working capital and the territory you're going to operate in and a first vehicle and equipment and all the stuff you need to now have a business. We would work with candidates on their plan and their financials. From a skill set perspective, as I touched on it and you brought it up again, just a good customer service focus. If you look after your customers, your business will work. That's kind of how our model is. It's not, again, overly complicated. And if you don't look after your customers, we tough to grow a business when you're in a service business. So that customer service mindset is huge. Leadership and management of people is huge. I can't stress that one enough as well. Not only ideally experience doing it, but someone who likes it. Like you're looking for a business where you have the ability to create jobs, create opportunities for others. You like the idea of having a teams in the future working for you and doing company events and taking someone that starts as a painter, for example, and in a year, maybe they're leading their own crew or maybe they're doing sales for you. Like that gets you excited. And then I would say, skill set can be varied, but any experience just around operations or an interest or like your brain is kind of wired that way because a franchise, especially a franchise like this, there's a lot of processes, a lot of systems, there's a lot for you to have. So the more that you like that and you function well with that and you want to say, give me these processes, give me these systems, I will run with them, I will follow them. If you stick to the system, it works. So someone who has that indication. And I say over and over to people, listen, what we can bring to the table is a trusted brand, experience in this industry, marketing support for you, last 30 years in our own in-house marketing team, technology, processes, systems, we have sales center, business coaching training, we have all these things for you. If you use all those things, you'll be successful. What we don't bring, what you bring as a candidate, is the grit, the hard work, the effort, the focus, all of that. We can't give you that. You need to bring that and saying, I am focused on building a business, and nothing's going to get in my way. And I'm going to use all of these things you guys give me. And there's lots there that'll work for you. You got to use them, but you got to be coming in week after week saying, I'm putting in the hours, I'm putting in the time, and I've got my goals, and nothing's going to stop me. If you take that with our systems, sky's the limit. And so that's really that dynamic for me of what the right fit is and the right blend to see people be successful. And that's, again, what we're looking for when we get to know candidates is, do they have those things? Are they ready to work really hard to achieve their dreams? Are they ready to put in that time and energy to achieve their dreams? Because we're going to commit with you, right? We're in. We've got the stuff to help you. We need that from you. And when those things come together, it's very special.
Yeah, it certainly is. I know you guys have turned candidates away before because of a lack of fit in the system and not really having the proper values for the opportunity. One thing that we do a lot of is qualify candidates and make sure that they understand that franchising in many ways is having a partner that gets the business and is going to support you. A franchisor isn't going to make you do anything, but they're going to guide you and suggest to you how you can have the most success based on your goals and vision within the mission of the company. We make such a great point there. That's you got to have that fit.
Yeah, I think that's the big role of the franchisor, or the advantage to coming to a franchise system, if you're choosing the right system, is that we're ahead of you, right? We've cut a path. And the advantage is you don't have to cut the path to start. You don't have to think of every single thing, create every single thing, figure out every single thing. A lot of that's done for you. So there is a path. And as you said, you need to go down that path, though. And we're not going to be behind you with a shovel pushing you. You have to go. And so the effort you bring, that energy to go down the path and apply those things, is really up to that person. That is what I'm working to understand about candidates, because you bring up a very good point. We don't sell franchises here, and I know in other models that may be the case, but we certainly award them. And we want to really make sure that we understand our new franchise owners and that we are the right partner for them. And we can make them successful, and they're a good fit, values, skill set, right expectations, all those things. And we want them to feel the same way about us. They've done the due diligence, that they're looking at Wow One Day Painting and O2E brands saying, you guys are the partner I'm looking for. And if we do this together, all of us feel like this can be successful. So it's not just about, let's bring on anybody that wants to do this. And then if they fail, too bad. Not the case. We really want to see people be successful. It's a Brian Scudamore from the top all the way down mentality. And that importance is there to look at fit. And, a common example I would use is that when someone comes to a franchise, I liken it to if you went to a chef and said, I want to cook like you. I want to make the food you're making. The chef said, okay, I'm going to give you the recipe and I'm going to show you how to make the food. If you follow the recipe and you follow what I do, you're going to make that food. If you don't, and you just start changing things, you're like, I'm going to skip that step. I don't like that thing. Your food's probably not going to be the same, and it may not actually be very good. And so for me, it's very similar to the franchise. If you go to a franchise system, find that recipe, find that chef that you're saying, I believe in that, and then follow that, and you'll see success.
That's a really good analogy. Obviously, with the backbone of O2E, that just provides so much more support and credibility and recipe to success.
Yeah.
Adam, thank you so much for taking the time to educate us about the opportunity with Wow One Day. If you'd like to learn more about the opportunity, go to wowoneday.com/franchise or visit usfranchisevisa.com. I'd be happy to set up an initial consultation with you, learn about your situation and your goals, and help you learn how you can live the American dream. Adam, thank you for being on.
Love it. I do it anytime. Thanks for having me.